few weeks ago, I made a video about what to eat in Recife. Recife is the capital of Pernambuco, which is a state in the northeast. So is Salvador, which is the capital of the big state called Bahia, which is also in the northeast. However, despite those two places being the same region, they have vastly different types of food that you should try. So in this video, I'll be telling you a few options for you to eat in Salvador when you're visiting the city. So let's dive right in. So the first thing I'll tell you about is beiju. Beiju is similar to tapioca, but not quite. It's most commonly eaten during breakfast, and you can also have it savory and salty. To be honest, I didn't find it very different than tapioca. However, it is very popular. I think the dough is slightly thicker because I think the flour is done differently. But you can have it with different types of things. The one that I tried was with cheese and jerked beef, I guess, which is a popular flavor in there. You can find it in most bakeries, most kind of small cafeterias and things like that. So in the morning, if you feel like you're trying something new, just go ahead and try beiju. The second thing I would mention are the cakes. So they're gonna have several types of cakes, some very popular. So they're gonna have cheesecake, which has nothing to do with the American cheesecake you might be thinking of, like an actual cake made of cheese. They're gonna have rice cake. They're gonna have a cake made in casserole as well, which is like outside of the oven. So they're gonna have different types that you, at least in Brazil, you won't necessarily find it down in the south. So just go ahead and try them when you're there. Now, Salvador is a coastal city. So as such, you're gonna have a lot of options for seafood. So if you're a seafood lover like I am, there's plenty of options here. So let me give you a few of them. The third item, right, which is one of the seafoods I'm mentioning, is crab. They will probably not compare to the ones you can find in colder regions like, I don't know, I'm thinking Alaska with the king crabs and all of that. But they are very popular in there, and you can find even like salespeople selling them live in the beaches. I don't remember if that happens anymore. I believe so. But when I was a child, I have family in that region. I remember seeing them going around with the crabs, just like being held fresh, selling them at the beach. There is a very distinctive memory I have from the area as a child. So the fourth item, which is also a seafood, would be charu mussel kind of soup or stew, caldo de sururu. Very popular in that region. Sururu, as I said, is charu mussel. It is something that you would have like as an appetizer or something before the main course. Very tasty, it's not very thick, but it has some thickness to it. It's very, very good. Try it if you want to eat some sort of seafood type of soup. The next one is actually one of my favorite seafood dishes ever, which is moqueca. Moqueca, you can find them throughout all of Brazil, even in the inner parts of Brazil. If you go to a seafood restaurant, you can probably find it, but throughout the coastline, you're gonna find it. However, moqueca in Bahia, it's actually called moqueca baiana, so moqueca from Bahia, and it's made with dendê oil, so palm oil, which is a very popular kind of orange oil used. It's originally from Africa type of oil that is very popular within the culinary from Bahia. So it's made with that, with seafood, and it's kind of a stew with coconut milk. It is honestly amazing. I am mouth-watering just thinking of it. This is something that you definitely should try. Even if you're not in Salvador, but if you are somewhere in Brazil, chances are you're gonna be visiting somewhere at a beach or something, just try that. The one in Bahia is made with dendê oil, but if you get one that is called capixaba, which is from a different region, from the Espírito Santo, which is just the state north of Rio, that doesn't have dendê oil. So that is the main difference. If you see somewhere moqueca baiana, moqueca capixaba, it's the dendê oil that is the difference. Just try it. Let me know if you like it in the comments, because I would be, unless you don't like seafood, but I would be very surprised if you don't like moqueca, if you are a seafood lover. And the last seafood item I wanted to mention to you is casquinha de siri. Casquinha de siri is a crab, I guess, crumble type of thing made sometimes in an oyster shell or something like that. Sometimes they just use some pottery type of bowl that goes and get baked and grated in the oven, and it's very delicious as well. You can have it as an appetizer or as like an opening dish to your lunch or to your dinner. Very popular around Brazil. You can also find it throughout, but it's something very, very good to eat whilst in Salvador. The next dish I wanted to tell you about is maniçoba. Maniçoba is a very interesting dish because it is based in like indigenous culinary mixed with African culinary. So it's very, very specific from Brazil. Maniçoba is made with the leaves of the manioc plant. The leaves need to be cooked for at least 7 days because otherwise they might make you feel indisposed. So it is a very traditional dish, very interesting. It is usually cooked with pork meat, and there is like this restaurant that is specific, that is in the Barra neighborhood. Again, not sponsored, but I've seen many people recommending, and I've been there myself, called Recôncavo. And over there they have culinary from the inner parts of the state, and this is one of their traditional dishes. It was very interesting. They serve it with like a kind of a fine manioc flour called, we just call it farinha, and also the main dish. It's really, really interesting. So you should definitely try that. You probably won't find it anywhere else. So if you have the opportunity, do try it so that you can tell to your friends like you've eaten something that needs to be cooked for like 7 days. I don't know, I just think like it sounds exotic. Let me know. But I personally felt like I was eating something really exotic at that time. So you've got until here and you didn't hear me talking about the most traditional dish from Bahia ever, which is acarajé. Acarajé is the next one, and it is kind of like a black-eyed peas dough ball that is deep fried in dendê oil. Again, the dendê that I told you is very common here, and it's opened up with there is a cashew nut paste on it, as well as some, I want to say, okra in it, and some dried shrimps. It is very, very traditional. You should definitely try it. It's good for a snack, but honestly, when I ate it, I felt like it was a full meal. It is extremely heavy because of its deep fried and the nuts paste and all of that. It just makes like a very heavy snack. However, you can find it on street stalls everywhere. The most famous one is in Rio Vermelho, which is kind of the nightlife neighborhood from Salvador. I filmed it slightly there, like in another video from Salvador that I'll tag here. But you can try it anywhere, and it's usually women dressed in traditional clothes because the relationship between the Afro-religion, their candomblé, and that specific dish is very strong. So in the past, only women that had done a certain initiation could be selling those. I believe that might still be true, but I don't know if it's followed that closely. So it is a very typical, and there is a very interesting cultural relationship with acarajé. So you should definitely try it and see if you like it or not. You either love it or you hate it. So just make sure to try it out. Now the next one, it's probably, as acarajé is a savory food that is traditional from there, this one is the sweet one, the dessert one, if you would. It's called cocada. Cocada is also sold by the women dressed in traditional clothes. And nowadays you can find many different types of flavors like strawberry chocolate, doce de leite, which is dulce de leche, and all of that. But the most traditional one is the plain coconut, or the what we call burnt coconut, which is more like roasted coconuts, not really burnt, which is more like brownish. And they come in like more like a flat type of thing, and they're very hard, and they are very tasty as well. They can be very sugary, so be mindful of that if you're not into very sugary things. So just go on and try some. They hold on very well for you to take back home. So if you want to take some back home, you can try and get either the burnt one, which is the roasted coconut, or the plain coconut. They're both nice, or even the different flavors. And the last one I wanted to tell you about is the ice cream types. So I've been in another video as well. I've been to the place where they sell like the most famous ice cream shop in Salvador. One of the good things is that they have flavors that you won't find necessarily in other parts of Brazil. So I tried, I think at the time that I've been there, I tried one with the roasted coconut and with tapioca, which are foods that I've already mentioned here. But you can have cacao, cupuaçu, graviola, all other tropical fruits. So if you want to try very different ice creams you won't find in other ice cream shops throughout the world, and even in Brazil itself, just go there, try some of these flavors, see what you like. If you're with friends, try different flavors and kind of share and see what you like. I'm sure you're gonna find something you love. I was very impressed with the roasted coconut one, and I'm sure there were many other flavors that were very good. If you want to see my other videos about food, I'm starting building this playlist here. Or if you want to see more about Salvador, I have this other one here that you're probably gonna love as well. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.